Hi, I'm Kate McNeil, and I've been going to McLean Bible Church for about 11 years. And prior to coming to know Christ, I was really living a life that was contrary to a Christian. I was, in a cycle of making bad decisions and bad choices, and even by society's standards. And I had come to a place where I felt just really isolated. I was left feeling guilty, a lot of regrets, a lot of shame. And I was at the end of my rope, and one morning I woke up. I didn't know the Lord. I had grown up going to church, but I had never read the Bible. I didn't know about having a personal relationship with God, but I just started praying and crying out to God and saying, if you're there, please forgive me. And I had a Bible and I opened it. I had never opened the Bible before I read it. And I opened it to John 8, where the Pharisees bring the woman caught in adultery to Jesus. And Jesus says to the Pharisees, you without sin cast the first stone. And one by one they drop their stones and walk away. And Jesus says to the woman, did no one condemn you? Then neither do I. Go and leave your life of this sin. And I knew in that moment that God was speaking to me, that he was telling me to leave my life of sin, that there would be no condemnation. He was giving me forgiveness and grace and mercy. And in that moment, I wrote down everything in my life that I knew was sin. I just prayed, God, take this. I want to leave this life and follow you. And I didn't fully know what that meant at the time, but I pretty quickly got involved in a church and in a Bible study, started growing and learning about God and who he is and his grace and his mercy and forgiveness. And quickly, started leading Bible studies and going on mission trips, and just living for the Lord he changed my life entirely. And, I was soon married to a man who loves the Lord, and now we have 2 young daughters. And knowing who I was then and who God is calling me to be now, and that these 2 girls are looking at me to be the godly woman, an example, yet I was that ungodly woman before. It's a really daunting task, and throughout parenting and mothering them, I feel like God has really taught me about the Holy Spirit, and that I'm not called to do this alone. He has given me everything I need for life and godliness, to love them, to have patience with them, to share with them about sin and about grace and who he is. And I'm really grateful. I deserve death, and he's given me life, and life eternal, and not just in eternity, but even here on earth, to have life, to have a family, to be called to live righteously so that others may see him in me, is a really awesome calling and an amazing opportunity that he would use my brokenness to shine light to others.